all right. We are here. Black Hair Flying Billionaire. Like I said, we got legends in the house. My name is Mark Richards, and I want to talk about this brother real quick. Growing up in the projects of Astoria, this guy was he was our Nino Brown, and he rose up. He became powerful, but then he became powerful another way. I'm not gonna cut into it too much, but this guy is a legend in every way. How I said the three parts, you gotta have your health, your wealth, and your family. Well, he knocked out all three. Remember I told you most of us only have two, but he got all three. So without further ado, I'm gonna introduce to you guys my brother from another mother, Sporty James Rasheen Rogers. Let's give it up.
Thank you.
So I started off with the bad part. Because I like when the movie ends well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
So I want to talk about that. Growing up in the hood in the 80s, it was a crack era, right?
Nice.
And I'm going to tell a funny story, and y'all going to be laughing because we're going to talk about it later. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So in the 80s, I know you had the Audi 5000, the Alfa Romero, the Mercedes, like I had. He was getting ready to say something.
Go ahead.
But growing up a solid brother in the game, you was the guy. I don't know if you realize this. I'm gonna tell you now. People were scared to talk to you. People were scared to approach you. You understand? And it wasn't just me and my friends. Like, it was in general, people were scared to talk to Sporty. I want to ask you something, and this is kind of off the cuff.
Okay.
I want to ask you something. What was that like? Because you're in the game, right? You hustling, right? Street pharmaceuticals, right? And you're on top. What was that like to be that person, or you didn't see it that way? Tell me about it.
Well, it was tough to be that person because any given day you didn't know what's going to happen. Because I've seen people one day they're on top, and the next thing you know they're on the bottom, meaning that they locked up for life or they get killed. So all the money you was making, you was always nervous because that one day could come. And that one day could be crucial, very crucial. And Mark said, like, a lot of people were scared to talk to me, but I was probably one of the nicest people that you could meet because I was the Robin Hood. I took from the rich and gave to the poor because when I was on top, I looked out for everybody. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? I had it, you had. That's the bottom line. There's no ifs and buts and ands about it. And I never thought that I was better than anybody else because at the end of the day, money don't make a man, man make money. Right. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, they only made a little bit of money and they thought they was better than everybody else. That wasn't me. To this day, if I had trillions of dollars, I'm still going to be the same person. It's not going to affect me. I'll probably think different, but I'm still going to be the same person.
Yeah, because it's funny you say that because when we went to the junior high school together.
That's right. Mark know me.
26, right? And when we first sat and was rapping, I was like, yo, this is the coolest dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, yo, this dude is all right. And what happened was, I never told you this. I'm gonna tell it to you now. I was talking to my dad, right? And this is 40 years ago, 30 years ago, I don't remember. And he said, hey, that guy, the one you be with. I said, and I started naming all my friends. He said, no, the guy that smiled when he talked. And I said, oh, you talking about Rasheen? He said, yeah, I like him. Like that. I said, oh, okay. He said, yeah. He was like, he don't take no shit. I like him. Like that. I said, oh, okay. I never told you that. You know
I was always smiling, but I looked like I didn't take no shit.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But that's the one, right? That's the one to be smiling. Yeah, okay, yeah. You know what I mean? Because we already know what it was, right? the government put the crack in our neighborhoods, because I was wondering, how can people run up to the cars and not worry about the cops? Because the cops was told not to do anything.
They didn't care.
Only do a few arrests.
Yes.
Because they wanted to knock it down. There's a nice book called Before Crack, and it got everybody just chilling and everything like that.
Mm.
So now we go on. You get jammed up, right? And if you don't want to talk about it, we ain't got to talk about it.
No, talk.
Okay. So you get jammed up. There was an undercover in the projects, and you and a couple other brothers get jammed up, and it was like, oh my goodness, they got him. And it was hurtful for everybody because, like you said, you was like the Robin Hood. Because once people got to know you, they realized how good of a brother you was. When you got jammed up, tell me about that. Tell me about that experience.
Okay, when I got jammed up, well, first of all, it was an undercover. One guy was being greedy. He met an undercover, and the undercover was giving him $500 to everybody drug dealer that was selling weight. He brought him to, and they gave him $500, and they did a sell, and they went from this one to that one, and I think I was the first person they came to, but I didn't deal with them because something had happened. I don't remember what happened, but I remember that person saying that this is my cousin. And I was like, okay, but at the time, maybe I didn't have nothing, so I didn't deal with them. So
But
6 or 7 months later, he brought up the same person, but this time he said that he was in jail with the person or something. But I didn't remember,
The undercover was black.
Yes, the undercover was black, and his girlfriend was Spanish, a pretty Spanish undercover.
Wow.
So one of my friends told me, he's like, I feel kind of funny about that. Don't do nothing. I said, nah, they was in jail, don't worry, So anyway, we set up a date to do something, and we did a sell.
A lot of weight.
Yeah, a lot of weight. We did a sell, and when we did the sell, what happened? We was at somebody's house, and the lights went out. So when the lights went out, one of the undercover pulled out a gun on me, but he was like, "Yo, what's going on?" So I guess they was wired, and the other undercovers, after the sell went through, we was like, "No, the lights just went out." So we exchanged the money, and the other undercovers was outside, like the door, waiting for them, but we didn't even pay it no mind because they did something as way as like not make it look noticeable. So they just was walking like they was just regular, because it was like in the projects they knew to put Spanish and black or two black undercovers.
Right.
They're not going to put no white person because then we're going to get,
That's why I asked.
like, oh, we know that they undercovers. So the people that was waiting outside, which was undercovers, was black. So when that happened, it didn't raise no attention. But then I remember they did this same bus in 40 projects maybe two months prior to them, which is the undercover, getting us. And the guy came to me. He said, "Yo, Ra, you know what? They did a big bus in 40 projects, blah, blah, this and that." So I was like,
40
yeah.
projects in South Jamaica, Queens.
South Jamaica, Queens. So I was like, yeah. So he was explaining it to me. So it was like kind of like the same thing like they did to us. The undercover went to everybody and started making sales. So what they do, they don't want to take down one person, right? Because that startles everybody else. So what they did, they went to this guy that was selling weight. They went to that guy that was selling weight, this one, and then they got us all together.
At the same time.
Yes, and the undercover was called Trident, mean 3. So it was like
Right.
Woodside, Queensbridge, Astoria.
I never knew that.
Yes.
That's crazy.
1989.
89. That's crazy because 89 was kind of like it wasn't like the end of it.
But it was the
height. Yeah.
It was the height of everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna get into when you got jammed up or when you were locked up, but I want to ask you something, and you could just tell me mind my business. I don't want to know what you have now because we know we do work. We're business partners. We know what we do. Were you a millionaire?
I'd rather not say.
Okay, you better not say. No, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Like I said, you know, it's up to you, and you're bigger than me, so I'm still 3-2 in project fights, and I want to keep that win-loss record. All right, this is what I want to ask you now. Let's go to this.
Okay.
So you go to jail, and you was always in good shape, but when you came home, it was like, holy crap! Like, and it's funny. It's crazy that I'm gonna say this. So forgive me that I'm saying this. Jail was good for you when it came to your health, because you came home looking like a superhero, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Was it the shock program that did it, or what? Because I know a couple of people that went to the shock program, and they all look like you.
Okay. This what happened with shock. Okay.
Now,
So
shock is what? Explain to people what shock is.
shock is a boot camp. It's like the army. You go there 6 months, so it teach you discipline, and it teach you how to be very clean. Your bed, it's just like you in the army, but your bed gotta be made nicely. Nothing can't be on the bed. You know, everything. It gotta be a part. It gotta be up to date.
Before you go on, why do you think they did that? Why do you think they implemented the shock program? Because it's not around anymore. But why do you think?
No, shock program is still
It's
around.
still around?
Yes. Now,
So
see,
why do they do that though? Like,
because
they're
it's
trying to-
good.
Okay.
It helps people because a lot of people need discipline. So it's a 6 months program, right? It gets you in shape because you constantly jogging, you're doing PT, and then you go to work after that. So it helps you. A lot of people, they said
Physical
like
therapy. Yeah.
maybe like 80 to 90% of the people that do shock, I think this is what I heard, that they don't go back to jail.
Yeah,
Because mostly it's
everybody
for
I
like
know that
first
did
time.
shock are in great shape and they never went back to jail.
It's like
I know
most of
three
them is
people like
first time offenders. So what happened when I got jammed up? Okay, I went to shock,
And you
but
was only like 25.
yeah, maybe
Okay.
23, something
Okay,
like that,
young.
22, yeah.
Okay.
So what happened is that they disqualified me from shock. You
Why?
heard? Disqualified. So shock, you could get shocked with nonviolent crime. It got to be, but you have people that slipped through there that had a gun case. So nonviolent.
Gun
And-
is violent.
Well, you know, technically, gun is not violent if you didn't use it in a robbery.
Okay.
Yeah, because you had people that, like I said, went to shock, that had a gun on them, and but they didn't use it to hurt nobody. But then you got other people that said that they had a gun on them and they disqualified them. So it's like, I guess who you see who look at this one like, okay, maybe we'll let him pass, and this one, no, we ain't gonna let him pass. So it depends who's looking at, you know, your record, your criminal history. So I only been arrested one time, and I didn't have no violent. When I got caught, I didn't have no gun, no nothing. I didn't have no drugs on me. You know what I'm saying?
So
I
why
did
did they
the
kick
cell.
you out of shock then?
Okay, they kicked me out of shock because they said the nature of the crime. They felt that the weight that I was dealing with, in 6 months, I could come home and still continue to do criminal activities at a high level.
Wow.
So that's why they kicked me out.
Okay.
So then when they kick you out, you go to a regular jail, right?
Okay.
So now when you go to a regular jail, you could get a work release, but you got to be 2 years to your date of being released.
Okay.
So I did 1 year upstate and 2 years on work release.
Mm.
Now, work
Okay.
release is a place that a holding facility that you could be in 2 days and out 5 days, or you could get 7 and 0. But 7 and 0 and 5 and 2, you have to be working, and you got to show pay stubs. So that's work release.
Okay, and the one in Queens is right there in
On
Long
Van
Island
Dam.
City. Yep, on Van Dam. Because it's funny that you said that, because I wanted to get into that because, all right, now you come home, right, and you're kind of fresh in the world, and I want to talk about your mindset, because some people can be in jail. Like I know a brother just came home from doing 25 years, and he's not. Give me the word. He's not. And that's like
Institutionalized.
institutionalized. he's not institutionalized. He got married. He actually works at the UN now. And if y'all know him, y'all know who I'm talking about.
Good.
But why weren't you institutionalized? Like, what makes it different from some people being institutionalized and some people? Because I got a boy, and he told me it depends on the individual, but is that simple answer like that? Like, why weren't you institutionalized?
Because you know why?
Came home like
I only did 1 year upstate, so it wasn't no time. You got now. If I did only 1 year and you did 20, then
right.
it could be different. It could have probably been different for me if I did 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I would have came home institutionalized because the simple fact, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I was always looking over my back or I'm always fighting in there or something like that. So when I come here, you know, you hear stuff about New York City, it's crazy. I'll be looking like, oh, this is jail, but part 2. But
right.
I only did 1 year.
Got you.
You know, so I didn't have time to really, you know, before you know it, a year is a long time, but it went quick because I was always busy up there.
Okay. So, like I said, guys, we want to tell the ugly part. We're going to get to the better part. And the better part is going to be with my wife on the second part. We're going to get to that in a minute because my wife is co-hosting because they're both April babies. April 7th, they're both birthday, and they drive me crazy because we're partners and they always agree about something against me. But we'll talk about that later. I'll tell you what my therapist said. But
he told you I'm Team Dita?
Yeah, he's Team Dita. And we own a lot of properties together. But I want to get into something, and I want to ask you a question. I ask everybody, but I don't have to ask you the question. I'm going to give my opinion on it, but I'll let you answer it.
Okay.
My opinion on it first. What's your strengths and weaknesses? So here goes my opinion, because usually your strength and weakness is the same thing. And to me, that's your strength and weakness. And I'm going to tell you what it is. Your strength is you care about everybody. You want to make sure everybody's good.
Yep.
You could be somewhere in the Bronx and you see some kid doing something wrong, but like, no, don't do that. That's your strength. You care about everybody. It's also your weakness.
That's right.
Yo, Mark, you know you ain't supposed to be eating that, right? Hey, look, you go. And when I told him about his family member that said, yeah, he think he my father because I'm smoking cigarettes. You know, he said, yeah, because cigarettes are bad for you. And like went right over his head because he cares about everybody. And some people don't want to hear it. That's what I think your strength and weakness is.
And that's what it is.
And that's what it is.
Being too nice to people, caring about everybody, trying to save the world.
Yeah.
And you can't.
Yeah. And I think I had to learn the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Like when you give, those be the ones that be like, that's good to happen.
I'm still giving.
Those be the ones. Yep.
I'm still giving and I'm still learning.
Yeah. But and still growing. And still growing. Look, like I said, I wanted to get into the deep part. I was trying to dig to see how much money he had back then, but he stopped me. You seen that, right? Oh, let me tell you my drug story first so y'all can laugh at me. So I was trying to make money selling drugs.
This is a good one.
So my boy, he said, all right, Mark, I'm going to give you 5 jums. Now, jums back in the day were $20 a piece of crack. I was
crack
broke.
vials.
This before I got started at the telephone company. I was broke. So I said, okay. He said, yo, look, you my man. So I'm going to let you keep like 40%. You just give me 60%. So 5, 20, $100, right? So I keep $40. I was so nervous and so scared. Yo, bro, I sold one to, I didn't know, it was some guy who was behind my mother's building. If y'all from Astoria, it's right next to the 2-4 store. And I gave him the thing. I said, all right, that'll be $20. He said, I only got $3. I said, yeah, give me $3.
He was taking anything just to say that he did something.
I went to my boy who's younger than me by about 4 years, right? So I'm 22, he's like 18. You know what he said to me? Yeah, Mark, give me back that, man.
This is not for you. You got to get a job.
Yeah.
You got to get a job. This is not for you.
Right. He said, ain't you in school or something? I said, yeah, you right. I got to go back to school.
That's right. He was telling you the right thing.
So thank you, my brother, for getting me out of that thing. All right, look, guys, like I said, the good part's coming up because we're gonna talk about what's next. We got the best co-host in the business, my wife Shadida Richards, and she's gonna break it down to y'all for the second part. So stay tuned, Black Half Blind Billionaire.
Good evening, good afternoon, good day. This is the Black Half Blind Billionaire podcast, and I have the privilege to be invited on to speak to my brother from another mother, Sporty, Rodney, Rasheen, Rogers. How you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm great.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm great. I'm just excited about the fact that we're able to interview someone that is so near and dear to our heart, whose family, who we have a lot of history with. I mean,
Yes.
his mother is like a second mom to me. When Mark calls him a brother from another mother, God rest her soul, Miss Edna Rogers, you know you are deeply missed. I
That's
mean,
right.
she was so loved by everyone where I could go visit the house whether the kids were there or not. You know, I'd call the house just to talk to her.
That's
But that's
right.
not why we're here. We're here to tap into how impactful this gentleman has been throughout his lives as well as ours. And, you know, one of the things that Mark did not mention, actually two things, but one thing that I'd like to point out is that he may not know that he's somewhat of a mentor to us. You know, a lot of people feel that because they're at a certain age that they don't need to listen to everyone. But I know one thing is I've never been his age before. I've never been a man before. So a lot of times when you want a perspective or you want input, you need to have that go-to person because we don't know everything. I
Thank
mean,
you.
be
Thank you.
be
Thank
very
you.
mindful of anyone who appears to think that they know everything because only a fool knows everything and you can learn from anyone.
That's right.
All right. So that was one thing that I want to say. Now, the second
Thank you.
thing
Thank you.
that I wanted to ask that Mark uh, might have missed is how did you get started? I mean,
Whoa.
because we all come from that area. You know, I came from the Bronx. Initially, I'm from the South Bronx, and then I moved to Astoria, Queens at the age of 14. And that's how I met Mark. That's how I met Sporty as well, along with my family that lived out there. But how did you get started? Because, see, I'm not going to say that I was an angel. We know my story. Well, most of us do, AKA rough stuff. But
That's right. Rough stuff,
that was not
AKA.
my journey, though. I have my own story, but it was not my journey. So, how did you get started?
Dita, you know what? It's funny that you asked that because I was in high school and selling weed in high school. We had like little clients in high school and $5, $10 bags. You know, it started from there. And then when I graduated from high school, three of my friends in Astoria said, Rod, do you got $1,200? If you got 1,200 or 1,250, we're gonna go buy some coke and we're gonna go upstate. So I said, I don't have to go because I'm going to college. They
Mhm.
said, no, you just put in, and then every week when we come back, we're gonna give you your part. I said, okay. So I did it. Three of my friends, right? So it was going good, real good. They come down every week, maybe every 2 weeks, and give me my part. I'm going to school. I'm going to school. After a couple of months, this is what they hit me with. Yo, Rod, you're my man and everything, right? But you're not coming up there, so we all three agreed to cut you off.
Ooh, peer pressure.
They agreed to cut me off. They're still my friends, but they said, you're not coming up there. So they gave me money, and that was it with them. So I had told one of my other friends, and he said, they did that to you? Okay, I got somebody for you. Don't worry. So he took me to some Colombian people, and he told them he's a good person. Give him what he wants. Now, this is a big scale. I didn't know what to do. So I had to go to somebody else and say, like, yo, this is what it is. You got to help me out, and you got to show me the ropes. And they showed me the ropes. And next thing you know, the three people that I was down with, I wasn't down with them no more at all. They was working for
Damn
me.
me. I tell you.
So you see, they cut me off. Now they began working for me.
Wow.
And that's how I started. Because them three. Because if it wasn't for them three, I might have never sold drugs because I had it good. Remember, going to school and they doing everything.
So you were like a silent investor.
Yes, yes, that's what I was. And then they cut the silent investor off, you know.
They no longer needed you.
Yeah.
You
So
know.
now when I'm out there and they hear it, like Rock got weight, Rock got this, Rock got that. Everybody was like, no, but he's a good kid. Ain't that the school kid? You know, that's all they used to say. Ain't that the school kid? And everybody was shocked. But then, you know, after that, I just started blowing up, and you know, next thing you know, precinct got your names. This one got your names. That the stick up kids got your name. Everybody is. It's very paranoid when you know what I'm saying. When everybody know you and everybody think you got millions and millions and millions of dollars. What they looking for? To stick you up, right? Or to kill you, or to hurt somebody, or guess what? To kidnap somebody, right?
Yeah, we've heard about that
Yeah.
happening.
And Ed, Mark, you probably Mark and Dita, you probably don't know the story. They tried to kidnap me, but I got away from the kidnap.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, I got away from it. But you know, like it's you know, it, it's different now because like I was telling one of the persons in the audience that Astoria was probably the right place for me because it was easy. If I would have been in Brooklyn, maybe I would have got killed.
Right.
Maybe I'd have got robbed for everything. Maybe they'd have kidnapped my family. See, Astoria wasn't like that, you know, at all. You know, everybody was together. If Mark was a drug dealer, I party with Mark. If this one was a drug dealer, I party with this one. But we was never. You had a couple of
Separated,
people.
right.
You had a couple of people jealous of this one, that one. But not like if you went to other boroughs, like everybody looking to
It
get
was
you.
more community oriented.
Yes, yes, yes. We did a lot of stuff together.
Despite
Yes.
the illegal activity,
Yes,
you was still
yes,
community.
yes,
Right.
yes. So that's why, you know, it was easy for me. Anywhere else, it would have been too hard. And I wouldn't even thought about probably even doing it because I would have probably been scared because, because they got this team or they got this game. The story, we didn't have that.
Let me ask you another question. Knowing what you know now, if you can go back and just change one thing, because even though in our bad choices, some of those bad choices build you to who you've become now. It creates that, it creates the Teflon of Sporty. Knowing what you know now, and you can go back in time, what is the one thing that you might have wanted to do differently?
I wanted to sell drugs. I wanted to sell drugs because when I went to jail, right? I came home, and it's quick, so I'm still in the mix. And then I catch a violation, right, and work release. So they send me back upstate, right? They send me back upstate. I catch a violation. They send me back upstate, maybe about for 3 or 4 months, right? But in the process, my father passed away.
Wow.
And the contact person was me. So now I got to come to my father's funeral. You know, they uncuffed me, you know what I'm saying? Because I was nonviolent and I was on a violation. But,
Humiliating.
yes, humiliated me. You know what I'm saying? Because we got my family on my mother's side and my family on my father's side, looking at like, yo, what did he do? You know? So that's the one thing, definitely.
And yet, we don't think about that
Yes,
when you're in it.
yes, yes.
We don't.
It's all good, and you know what I'm saying. Money comes, money goes. You have people that made hundreds of millions of dollars, and they broke. You know what I'm saying? They broke because guess what? They was living for the moment.
Right.
Nobody put away money. I seen guys. We go to a club and they spending $50 to $100,000 on crystals, this, that. They was living for the moment. They put
Right.
away nothing.
But the thing about it is, they were not taught. They were not trained.
Yes.
And in order to save money, invest money, it's a skill.
Yes.
You're not normally born with it. Some of us are known for being selfish and a
Yes.
bit more frugal than others, but it's a skill that you acquire.
Yes.
That you'll be willing to learn because it's hard. And it also requires discipline. But go ahead.
Adita, some of the guys didn't have nobody to say, yo, you should take this money and buy such and such, or you should do this. They didn't have that one or two persons that could tell them,
Or the person that they could trust.
Yes.
That's another
Yes,
thing.
that's
You
another
might
thing.
have had people who might have wanted to make better decisions,
Yes,
but
but they
just
couldn't
didn't have
trust nobody.
Right.
Because that's the biggest thing.
That
And,
trust.
and when you're in that line of work, it's trust. Because a lot of people, yeah, you, believe it or not, a lot of them guys that got killed for money, from their friends.
Right.
From their friends,
They've
set
had-
them up.
They need to be close enough to
Yes.
you to know enough
Set them up.
to be able
Okay,
to
he's
do
gonna
it.
be at such and such. Okay, we'll put a girl on him. And you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people die from girls. Girls set them up. 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
They go to a hotel room. The girl leave the door open or whatever, and do busting their head. Come on.
Trifling. I have another question for you on a more of a positive note. Now, when it comes to, you listed a lot of things that you've accomplished. I know Mark covered that as well. And we're still fairly young.
Yep.
I like to think that we have a lot more time left,
I
a
hope
lot
so.
more,
I
lot
hope
more
so.
to do.
Yes.
All right.
That's right.
Now, so what's one achievement that you most likely hope to achieve? What would you most likely want to achieve before you leave this earth? What's that one thing on your bucket list that you say, you know what, I did this, 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 I checked it off the list. I'm a man of a certain age, but before I leave this earth, this is the one thing that I gotta do.
Okay, I have 3 kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to leave each one of them a property.
Nice.
Definitely, I want to do that. Each one. So they could say, he left me something. That's what I definitely want to do. Because people get money, it comes, it goes. But you die, they spend the money, and you forgotten. But somebody may come to your house and say, oh, how you got this house? My father left this to me. How you got this house? Oh, my father left this to me. How you got this apartment? My father left this to me. So at least you'll still be in their mind. My father did this for me.
Let me tell you
And-
something.
Yeah.
As a realtor, I could attest to that. I've shown several homes, and especially out east, out here in Suffolk County, there's a lot of homes that I have shown to my clients. And when the owners are showing the home, 80% of them, and the one that resonated with me the most was a teacher at Stony Brook University. I showed a home to someone, and she talked about how this was her parents' home, and her sister lived there. She showed one of the bedrooms. They were very small, very small bedrooms. And she's like, yeah, I'm in Stony Brook. I'm a professor. I've been there for several years, but I'm looking to sell the home and move. My sister moved away. My parents are deceased. And the person I was showing the home to was saying that the room was too small for her when it was just 2 people that were going to live there. And I was saying in my mind, like, wow, it's too small for 2 people. Fast forward, because the house was back in the 60s when they bought it. But here we are in early, mid 2000s selling it. And the person I was showing it to felt that it was too small for them. But yet they raised a family in this house. Okay? And not only did they raise a family, now they're passing it down. Parents are gone. And she's now in the position to sell it as a success. She's still successful. She's has her own,
Yeah.
Professor at a prestigious university, and yet in a position outside of what she does to sell this home
That's deep.
on her own. She didn't have a realtor. She was showing the house.
Wow.
So for you to be able to put your kids in that position, I think is phenomenal.
Yeah, because you know what it is, Dita and Mark. Houses cost a lot of money. And maybe our kids may not have that $200,000 and $300,000 to put down on these houses, because it's a lot. Like I seen a house in Belrose. It's super tiny, and they want $1 million for the house. You know why? Because of the area. $1 million, and the house is super tiny.
But I think what's also happening, and not to go so far in depth with it because it's it's my
Yeah.
specialty, but what's happening, and ever since COVID, it affected the market. It's not only about the area. We don't have inventory.
Yes.
The population is surpassing the inventory. So we have more people than we have housing. And then the infrastructure usually every 10 to 15 years has to be upgraded. And for some reason, that ball has been dropped. So when you put all that together, COVID, infrastructure, population, low inventory, yet here we are. Our house that earned so much equity after COVID. Your
Oh,
home,
yes,
your
yes.
home, after the equity, after COVID is when all this equity is now accrued. People are sitting back saying, I'm going to wait for it to get cheaper, or I'm going to wait for the rates to go down. A house that was 500,000 2 years ago is now 900,000.
Yes.
So to me, it's more secure than the stock market. And I'm not even going to go into that.
Yeah.
But, I think it's an excellent idea. I think more and more people should do it because regardless of the economy going up, inflation, anything that you want to
You still
use
got your
to,
house.
you still have your home, and
Yes.
equity always builds.
That's right.
It always builds in equity. So you
right.
can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. So I pretty much covered everything that I had. I'm just excited to have had the opportunity to sit and break things down with my big brother here. He just hit the big 6-0 party of the year, moment
you.
everywhere, dancing. I felt like I was a celebrity. I mean, my friends of mine that you met through us, they were like, that was the party of the year.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
people are
thank
still talking about it. So I love the fact that we are born on the same day because
That's
I was
right,
able
same
to
day.
piggyback off your celebration.
That's right. Same day.
I got to celebrate, and then
Yes,
I had
that's
to
right.
pick up.
We did it together. Do the audience want to ask anything?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mark.
So I don't have a mic, so
Dita
I'll let Dita ask you. What are you doing now? Are you a real estate investor? Or are you a site safety supervisor? What are you doing now?
Oh,
Right.
so
I'm an investor. Go ahead, Dita.
yes, and in case we didn't get to hear what Mark had asked, he wants to know, what are you doing now? Okay, who is Sporty? Well, let's list it
Okay.
down.
I'm a site safety manager.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the guy that go to the job sites, and if you're doing something wrong, I reprimand you or write you up or I remove you from the job.
Wow,
Also, I'm a job developer because I give people jobs.
that's right.
And me and one of my friends, Kareem, we got plenty of people with jobs. We got plenty of people in the union.
Shout out, Mr. Broadnax.
That's right. And we love doing it. It's important because you got to remember, a lot of people come out of jail and they want to do right, but they don't have that direction.
Yes.
And that's where you got me, Kareem Broadnax, and other people that help them. We always trying to help somebody. You know what I'm saying? We make calls, and we say, okay, this person, can you do such and such? They give them,
OSHA certification,
yes.
helps them get trained.
Yes, you get the training. They help you with this. They help you with a lot of stuff, and they see if you fit for construction. Because a lot of times, a lot of people is not fit for construction, but they want the construction money. So that's what I'm doing now, and investing. If I see or if we see a good property, we'll try to grab it.
Yes,
And that's what I'm just doing, and having fun and living.
Yeah.
And working out. Yeah,
because it's tough being a landlord.
Yes. Yes. It's very tough being a
Ooh,
landlord.
it's tough being a landlord.
It's always something.
Especially in New York.
Yes.
It's a tenant state.
That's right.
Nice. So with age comes wisdom, and at the age of 60, what would you attribute as the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Follow your dream. Follow it. Because you're always going to have somebody that tell you, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's an old saying, another man can't deny another man, only a man could deny himself.
Wow.
So remember that. Follow your dream. Don't let nobody take your dream away from you. Because it's your dream. Maybe me and Dita, Mark, Tillman, we may not have the same dream.
Right.
But it's still my dream.
Right.
So follow your dream.
That's good. And it goes back to something Tillman said earlier, where the difference between people that achieve it and don't is not necessarily because of their educational background or even their skill set. somebody could achieve the goal because they just didn't quit. They
Yes.
remained consistent, they remained disciplined, and they just kept going.
Yes. And sometimes they have somebody behind them, pushing them, helping them. Sometimes, like we got a lot of people that it's like they just born to failure. Like it's like you look at a person and have a baby and you be like, dog, the baby don't got no chance. And we see that a lot. So that's why it's always good for that baby to have somebody that'll help them have that chance.
Outside of who they might be birthed to.
That's right. That's right.
It takes a village.
That's right. That's
It takes
right.
a village. Well, again, like I said before, April 7 babies have done it again.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
The April 7 babies have done it again. This was diabolical.
Thank
This was
you.
great
Thank you.
information. I learned something about you just when you think you know someone, Just when you think you know someone. So thank you so much, Sporty, Rodney, a.k.a. Rasheen.
Thank you.
The
Thank you for having
investor,
me
the
on the show.
landlord, the father, the husband, the brother from another mother, the landlord. Okay?
Thank you.
Peter Pan in person. We call him Luke Cage, but he want to call himself Peter Pan. All right. I didn't know Peter Pan was built like this, but it's okay. We'll take it anyway. So again, I just want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Black Half Blind Billionaire. We're timing out.
And thank you for having me on the show, Mark and Dita.
90 times.
Thank you.